Hello, and Happy New Year.
Welcome to the Hildebrand Law Firm topic for today.
I'm Kirsten Hildebrand.
And I'm Matt Kaplan.
And today we are going to talk about 2025. You know, I remember being a little girl and thinking, I will never, ever see 2025. It just felt like such a huge number.
Now, are those memories in black and white?
Yes, actually,
and
they
silent?
were. Not silent, but yes, black and white. We had a black and white TV when I was a little girl. And then when we got color, that was a big, big deal.
And it was probably $1,000 and it was this big.
Yes, yeah, and it had the tick, 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 you know, like the little channels.
A relic.
Yes, it's really true. I mean, like, honestly, when you think about where we've come technologically in my lifetime, it's insane.
Yeah.
It is really, really something. So anyway, but you know, there's a couple things that don't change. And one of those things that doesn't change is the fact that people have assets and they also need to do something with those assets. And what is it that they need to do with their assets that's really important to us as estate planning attorneys?
I'm going to think they need to get their estate planning done.
Yes.
I'm thinking Kirsten, that 2025 is the year. Is the year that everyone just go ahead and do it. And we're going to talk about in this video and also subsequent videos why this is the perfect year to get your estate planning done. Especially, you know, something we hear from our clients is that they say, I've been trying to get this done for years.
Right.
I've been putting this off. Let's make this the year to do it, and we'll talk about why.
Yeah, I think the first reason that you should get your estate planning done in 2025 is that then you will not die.
Exactly.
I think that's the best reason right there. Because, you know, a lot of our clients think that if they get their estate planning done, they will die. And in fact, it's the opposite. Mm-hmm. We actually have a lot of unfortunate situations where people don't get their estate planning done and then they die.
Right.
But have we ever had a death by estate planning?
No.
I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
No, and so that's really good.
Right.
So we have a 100% success rate in terms of getting people's estate planning done, and they don't die.
It's true. Yes, that's very true. No, so it's actually quite the opposite. It's usually the planners who end up living forever, but it's always the ones who live forever who are also just, you know, they bother you the whole time. You ever notice, like, the people, especially family members, that tend to be the most annoying? They just find a way to stick around
to forever and ever.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think
which
that's
is a good thing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Well, yeah, I think there was some research done on that. That, you know, the people that are the most, say, persnickety are the ones that live the longest. Yeah. Yeah. So kind of interesting.
Right. I'd rather you haunt me as a ghost than haunt me while you're alive.
So I guess the question is, like, do you have any stories recently of people who didn't get their estate planning done and what that did?
Tremendous, yeah. So we had a situation this year where there was a woman and her husband was a big time surgeon at the local hospital, and just one day during surgery had an aneurysm, died right there.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I mean, and this is one of those situations where if you ever met a surgeon, they do surgery all the time, every single day. One of my favorite phrases in surgery is that if I don't operate for a week, I'll notice. If I don't operate for 2 weeks, you'll notice. Mm-hmm. So these people, it's almost like an addiction to them. It's nuts. But so he just died randomly, and the only thing he had in place was life insurance. Here's where things get tricky. He had 3 kids, all under the age of 12.
Oh, wow.
And so, Kirsten, what happens to that life insurance? When do they get it?
18, not before, and that's a problem. Either way, right? It's a problem if they're not getting it for things that they might need in their pre-18 years, but then if they have that life insurance coming to them at age 18 without any restrictions, do you know a lot of 18-year-olds that should get, I would imagine, hundreds of thousands of dollars?
I can't think of any.
I can't think of any either. Yeah, and in fact, we had another client where a very similar thing happened, and those kids, when they received their inheritance from the court, because the court actually opens up a children's trust for them if there's no estate planning in place, once the court dispersed the money at age 18, they promptly disappeared, and it's not a good ending. Let's just say that, because they've been traumatized. Now they have a lot of money, they do things that they shouldn't be doing.
Right, and you can't think at that age, especially when you're looking at sums of money like that when you came from nothing. That's why if you look at NBA players, NFL players, most of them go bankrupt within a certain amount of years of leaving the league. It's because for the first time in their life, they have all this money and they're too young to understand what to do with it.
And too young to save, too young to do planning,
Right.
which then leads into really great estate planning.
Exactly.
So yes, I agree. These things that happen randomly are really not so random.
Right.
And I think that that's the point, is that it's just a great idea to get your estate planning done. And we think that we do a really amazing job of bringing our clients along with us in a very comprehensive educational process. So we really believe in education here. I was a teacher before I was a lawyer. So I really like to make sure, and I know you're an amazing teacher as well, that we're literally helping our clients understand what these documents are going to do for you and how they're going to work and how to interact with them, and then bringing in financial advisors or accountants or other trusted individuals to make sure that the whole piece is working together,
right,
in concert. So
absolutely, and to that end too, with regards to getting your stuff done before you die. That's the thing. We don't know when that date's going to come. Nobody does.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? I sort of wish we knew, but we don't. And anything can happen at any time. And I think that it's easy to build up this idea of, well, I'm not going to die today.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
Yet I just had a new client come in where he died on Christmas Eve. And it was literally, coming out of a beautiful venue where the family was all together, and he literally dropped over dead with 3 kids, teenagers. And so it happens.
Right, and he was probably a healthy guy too.
He was. That's the thing, you think, well, I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm just in my early 60s or mid 50s or whatever, it can't happen to me. And again, yet it does. So I think, why not, right?
Right.
Why not just get it done so that then there's good, clear instructions so that you can keep it simple for the people that you love and make sure that you have a good plan. Because at the end of the day, it's a huge blessing to be able to do estate planning, is it not?
It is.
Because it means you actually have stuff to
right.
pass on
right.
to the people that you love, and to do that in an orderly fashion. It's kind of like the difference between, I don't know, saying to somebody, hey, you can have my car for free, and the car is just all battered up and has clothes and McDonald's and nasty stuff all in the car, and it's just filled with dog hair and whatever else, versus saying, hey, you can have my car and it's beautiful and it's clean and it's neat and it functions well,
right.
and you hand it off, and then it's a gift. It's not a problem.
Right.
And so I think it's so important to just think about, oh my goodness, what an incredible gift it is that I have the ability to order my estate so that then I can pass it on in an orderly fashion.
It is, and it's also a huge gift, Kirsten, that you have people that you care about enough.
Yes.
To even give you that car. I have someone in my life where I have the privilege to give them this car. Because there's people out there that don't. And some of the things that we'll be talking about in this series is we'll be talking about for folks who maybe don't have someone that they love, that they can give this car to. What are some other options?
Yes.
And there's plenty of options out there. And another thing that I want to get into in the next video is talking about the difference between living documents and dead documents. Documents you make while you're alive, or documents that just kick in after you die. We like to do both. I like to really stress the living portion of it because it's a really hard sell for people. It's like, okay, you're dead, but you still care. I promise you'll still care. And so that's one of the things that I want to dive into a little bit more.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited about 2025, and we would particularly love to meet you. And we would love to have the honor of doing estate planning with you, collaborating together so that we can make sure that we have your tomorrow secured and get it done. So thank you so much for joining us.